510 horses, a 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Well, that sounds like a track beast, right? Well, what if I told you that people actually daily drive this car? I'm John with Blackbird Productions, and today we're diving into how the new Model 3 Performance balances insane speed with everyday practicality. And I thought, what better way of talking about daily driving this car while actually daily driving it? But first, super quick, before we get into today's video, I wanted to just let you know that a small percentage of you actually watching my content are subscribed to the channel. And I'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I need your help to do that. Big thank you in advance for checking out my content and also subscribing. So with that, let's get into the video. All right, let's get on out of here. So first, oh, that's actually a really cool, what is that? An 8.6, really nice. Hey man, that's a really nice color. I've never seen one in that color before. It's just basically like a Miami blue GR, not GR, I keep saying GR Corolla, GR86. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about the all new adaptive dampening system in this car. I can say that compared to the other models, just based on what I heard online, because I've never actually driven the other outgoing Model 3 Performance, but in this car, I'd say it's pretty smooth for a sports car. I've driven a number of sports cars before. I'd say probably the most comparable to this one is maybe like a Porsche. It has 20-inch rims, so you definitely do feel bumps in this car. But with the new adaptive dampening system that they have for this car, I think it adds a little bit more softness or perceived softness to the overall suspension setup, so to speak. So you definitely feel bumps in this car, but it's like less harsh, if that makes sense, just because of just the new dampening system that they've added onto this car. And I want to say the Cybertruck shares the same dampening system as well. I don't know for sure. You guys in the comments can tell me otherwise, but that's just what I heard. We're just stuck in traffic up here. It's just, oh, and this, of course, the Beamer won't let me through, so that's cool. It's a debadged Beamer, and it says M on the license plate, but I don't see any M badges, so. So in terms of ride comfort, I think the new dampening system offers a little bit of comfort to those who might be coming from a more harsher ride. I think it also drives pretty smooth too, just because you have the one pedal driving, which, I mean, every EV has that, but this combined with all they're doing with the suspension, I think helps with the overall comfort when driving this car. In terms of the interior comfort, the seats are very, not overly plush and not noticeably hard, but it's kind of like the perfect middle ground. I can also see myself going on a road trip in these seats. They're very comfortable. The bolstering, although it is, pretty thick, it's not overly aggressive like other sports cars out there. And the seats definitely don't feel cheap as well, like in other outgoing models, specifically maybe like the first year Model 3. Those seats, I'm sure probably aren't the best, but these, they feel very quality. They feel very solid. And I've also said this before, but with the steering wheel, the leather is very tight. And it just feels just very solid. Honestly, it does. In terms of the AC and stuff, I actually have the AC on right now. It's on 1 just because I didn't want it to come through the microphone. But in terms of the AC, this car blows very cool. So if you are worried about having an EV on a hot day and having it like not really reach its full potential in terms of how the AC works, because I have had that before as well in other EVs. In fact, when I had my i3, when I was when the car would just be at a stoplight, the AC would actually like turn off, and it would just be like blowing air basically, and it was like a feature of that car to retain some of the efficiency like in the range. So I know a number of earlier EVs, and I'm sure current EVs also adopt that same thing. But this car, it blows constantly cold everywhere I go, and it's just wonderful to see that. And I wish more manufacturers, more automakers would adopt that sort of technology. Just because I feel like if you want an EV, or ideally in a perfect world, I feel like an EV shouldn't be a drawback to own. In essence, like, you should be able to use an EV the same way you do a gas car without any real compromises. And I feel like automakers sort of skimp out on some of those smaller creature comforts that we're used to in just regular gas cars, just for sake of efficiency, or just to say they have like the best range on their brand new EV, SUV, or whatever it is. There's like a huge truck with like a log in the back of it, and I think I'm gonna just get in front of him just because it's just... This truck is getting over. In a minute, I'm just gonna turn on FSD. As soon as I get out of this traffic, I'm gonna turn on FSD. All right, what's next? Storage. Storage is really, really plentiful in this car. I was actually surprised myself, just because, I mean, you could say it is a sedan, but really it's like I kind of see it as more of like a coupe sedan, just because the back seats, while they're there and they're usable, I wouldn't put anyone back there for a road trip, for example. And they're like very much bench seats, so they sit really low to just like the floor, so you find your knees are kind of like up to your chest a little bit, especially like for taller people. I'm about 5'8.5", and the seats to me, like, they just feel like bench seats, but nonetheless they're there, and you could actually pull them down for additional storage. This car has a front trunk, just all of other Tesla's cars, so you have that convenience just to store like more sensitive items and stuff like that, so you have that added practicality. All right, so I've activated self-driving, so let's see how it does on I guess you could call this 30. Last time I tried it on 75 here in Texas, and it just was not having it. So, but anyway, range is also pretty modest in this car. I'd say if you're driving to and from work like 3 hours a day, three hours going to work and 3 hours going back, it probably isn't the most ideal if you don't have like charging infrastructure in between that time of you going to work and then coming back home. But if you're like living in the city, or you live in a suburban area, and say your commute's like only like an hour or 2 hours, something like that, then the range really isn't that bad, honestly. I'll say the EPA estimated in my notes here is like 303 miles, but I can definitively tell you, you definitely won't be getting to that EPA estimate. I think the most I've gotten out of this car is maybe like 260, 270, something like that. Sorry, this road is just not the best. If you're hearing like background noise, it's just not the best, especially as we're coming up here. But anyway, range could be better in this car, but I mean, again, this is like a performance car. I wouldn't expect range to be spectacular. And I'd say, like, compared to the competition, range in this car is pretty good. But overall, I think this car is definitely practical, and it's definitely something special. I really think it's special for someone who is interested in looking for a high-performance EV. I think the competition is getting pretty fierce with Hyundai's cars, specifically the Ioniq 5N, and also they make that SUV. I forget what it's called. I'm drawing a blank right now. But you'll let me know in the comments. It's that SUV where it's like a GT SUV. It's not the Kona, but it's that other one. I think it's the EV6 or something like that. But yeah, the competition is getting pretty fierce. But honestly, Tesla, like, I feel like they've had like a lot of time to refine and stuff. And in this car especially, this is the most refined Tesla I've seen on the road and also driven. And honestly, you just can't beat what you get for the money when you're buying a Tesla, especially compared to the competition. Although the competition might have like faster, 0 to 60 time, faster miles per hour, whatever. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to a blend of different things. So that includes quality, speed, technology, stuff like that. And I feel like Tesla really has it dialed in with this new 2024 Model 3 Performance. And so far, I've enjoyed my time with it. Yeah, they're doing a lot of construction up here. So again, apologize if the road noise is excessive. I'm going to try and fix that in post, but I can honestly do so much. I mean, I'm just rolling through potholes. Well, not rolling through them, but rolling around them left and right here on this road, just because there's a lot of construction up here, and it looks like they're making a brand new section of the highway. And that's like the story of every county in Texas, because I think they're just doing like a big construction project that spans like across the North Dallas area. So that's just something I have to deal with. All right, so I'm here at my destination, and this is the end of the video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I felt like this video was a little bit rambly, and the format obviously is just a little bit different. But I thought this would be useful just to talk about while I'm actually daily driving this car. So if you enjoyed it, definitely feel free to leave a like, and also consider subscribing. Like I said in the beginning, I make videos like these every week, and I also make car reviews every month. And I'm also working on the next car review right now, and hopefully I'll get that out before Thanksgiving. But until then, this has been John with Blackbird Productions, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.